Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Salon Scoop podcast. New year, new you, right? Are you feeling the New Year's revolution frenzy? Everyone's vowing to be their best selves. It's obviously an exciting time full of optimism and fresh starts. The gyms are packed, new diet plans are flying. Everyone's buzzing with resolutions to get in shape and make this year the best one yet. My personal motto is more in 2024, right? Just more of everything. And I want to bring more content to you through this podcast series to really give you tools that can help unlock some of the important elements to allow us to have success. I mean, we talk a lot about, we interview people in the industry to find out best practices. We talk a lot about digital marketing tips and techniques to grow your business, but ultimately it all starts on the inside, right? And we're talking about resolutions for the new year, gym and everything. What if I told you that the most important transformation this year doesn't come from sweat sessions at the gym or doesn't come from new kale chip diets? What if the key to unlocking your true happiness and success lies not in our bodies, but in our minds? Right? Well, here's your first truth bomb of 2024, people. You have to understand that you are not your mind. Your mind is a part of you the same way that your hand or your arm or your foot is a part of you. So I want you to imagine your mind as a powerful muscle, right? Your thoughts as weights and your beliefs as the gym equipment. And just like the body needs training to reach its full potential, well, so does the mind. And while we diligently spend time working on our physical health, rarely do we dedicate time to work on, improve, and strengthen our mental health. And my big question has always been, why? Right? Like, why not? Developing the skill of mastering our own thoughts and building empowering mental frameworks is probably the most important skill set that we can have. Yet people tend to somehow ignore it. I think the biggest problem is that people don't realize it's a skill that can be learned and developed. And maybe that's why they don't think about spending time on it. But our mind controls everything that we do, right? We have thoughts and beliefs that guide our actions. Some of those thoughts are positive and some are negative. And based on these thoughts and beliefs, we tend to assume that the way we see things is the way they really are, or at least the way that they should be. And as a result, the way we see things is the source of what we think and how we act. But that's not true. We all know that the mind is the greatest soap opera scriptwriter in history. It makes up incredible stories of things that either never happened or and probably never will, right? We tell ourselves things over and over again that just aren't reality. But how many times do we create these scenarios in our head about how someone is going to react to something or how we're going to deal with a situation? We almost always focus on those worst case scenarios, and it causes anxiety, it causes stress, it causes worry. When the reality is that most of those scenarios we're telling ourselves don't ever come to fruition. So remember that you are not your feelings, you're not your moods, you're not your thoughts. You can separate yourself and see them, right? You might be in a bad mood. You might be having feelings of anger. That doesn't mean that you're an angry person, right? Just means that currently you have feelings of anger, but you can separate yourself from them. So between a stimulus and a response, we as humans have this very unique ability and freedom to choose, to make a choice. And so our behavior is actually a function of our decisions, not our conditions. Too often we tend to blame our conditions, right, for our actions. Say, oh, you know what? That's how I was brought up to be, right? Oh, the the economy is a certain way, and that's why I'm doing this. We always tend to blame external circumstances. So coming back to our mental gym, the training and managing your own mind is truly the most important skill you could ever have. Right? Think about it. Why is it that some salon owners breeze through challenges, radiating positivity, attracting clients like magnets, while others get bogged down by negativity, struggle? It just everything seems like a constant challenge. The difference often lies in their mindset of those two individuals. Those who have a growth mindset, right, believing in their ability to learn and to grow, they see setbacks as opportunities. They embrace challenges and ultimately achieve greater success. Successful people believe that I create my life, whereas unsuccessful people believe that life happens to me. Right? That external focus we just talked about. You have to believe that you are the one that creates your success. You are the one who creates your mediocrity, and that you are the one creating your struggle. And once you start being aware and taking accountability for this, that's when you can make real positive change. Okay, so make a decision that from now on, your thoughts don't you control your thoughts and your mind works for you. Okay, so how do we train this mental muscle? Jump into the mental gym with me. All right, we're going to talk about 3 strategies and 3 ways that we can train our mindset, right? That muscle. The first is to, I call it, catch the thought thief, right? Because we have all these thoughts all the time that essentially are stealing away our power. We have these negative thoughts, they creep in, right? We've all heard them. It's that little voice, right? But we can learn to catch them and reframe them. So the first step is to start by just raising your awareness about these negative thoughts that you're having in your head. Learn to stop, acknowledge them, and then flip the script. So instead of saying or thinking, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not worthy of this, try, this is a learning opportunity for me, and I'm willing to try, and I'm going to give it my best effort, right? So instead of I'm not good enough, flip it and say, I'm going to give it my best, regardless of the circumstances. That's all that I can ask of myself. Okay. Also, think about replacing I can't with I choose not to, and replace I have to with I choose to. Now, what's the difference, you might ask? Right? I can't versus I choose not to. The difference is your degree of control. Right? When you say I can't leave work before 7 p.m. today, I mean you could, right? It's technically possible. You could leave before 7 o'clock. There's just consequences that you would have to deal with that you don't want to. And that's totally acceptable. Maybe it would be you'd have to cancel clients in order to do that. Or you're just, thinking you'd get yelled at by your boss, or maybe even worse if you left work before 7 o'clock. So those are consequences that you choose that you don't want. But you could do it. Okay, you just choose not to. And it's a really, really important distinction. So don't say that you can't. Take back the control and say that you choose not to. The same goes for examples where we say, I have to do something. We say this so often, right? I have to pick up my kids at 5. I have to bring in my car tomorrow. The worst is when we combine things. We say, I can't, right? I can't go out for dinner with you on Saturday night because I have to go and see my mom, right? You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to bring in your car tomorrow, right? If you don't, there will be consequences, of course, right? You don't have to pick up your kids at 5. If you left them, they'd be standing on the street. I understand that. And there would be consequences, but you don't have to. You choose to. Okay. So that's it. It might sound like a small detail, but I promise you, these small details matter. Our words matter. They reflect the thoughts in our head and are ultimately our conditioned beliefs. And they are a big difference between feeling like some external factors are controlling your life or whether you are in control of your life. Right? Small shifts in your inner dialogue can make a big difference. So start by listening to yourself, be aware, catch yourself, and then rephrase. I hear it from myself, but I hear it now all around me from others. And if I have a close enough relationship with them, I actually stop them, right? Sometimes it might be a family member, sometimes it might be a friend. I say, hey, you just said that you can't do this. I mean, you can do that. It is possible, but you choose not to. It's just really important to recognize. You don't have to do something. You're choosing to do it. Take back control. Okay, the second mental gym exercise is to become your own hype squad, right? Your own cheering section. Someone's got to do it. You have to start yourself. You cannot rely on other people to pump you up. Do not be dependent, right, on other people's affirmations to make you feel good about yourself. Take that control. Believe in yourself. And to do that, we can practice positive affirmations daily. Right? What type of person do you want to be? What characteristics do you want to exemplify? Write down empowering statements and then stick them on your fridge, on your bedroom wall, on your mirror, anywhere that you'll see them on a regular basis. And rather than saying, I want to be self-confident or I will be a loving parent, replace the words want and will be with I am, right? I am self-confident. I am a loving partner. Every morning, look in the mirror and find your safe space and repeat those affirmations to yourself. Do this as often as you can throughout the day. Remember, we are what we repeat, right? You hear we are what we eat, but we are what we repeat, okay? Our habits really build upon themselves and make us who we are. So I am capable. I am resilient. I am respectful. I am positive. I am going to rock this day. All of it, right? The more you say it, the more you'll feel it. And the more it will become part of your natural state and belief system. The stories that you tell yourself shape your reality. So you might as well tell yourself a winning story. Right? I talked earlier about how our mind makes up all these scenarios all the time, most of which aren't even true, right? And never even happen. But we focus our energy on these thoughts and stories, and they impact how we feel and what we end up doing. Whether the story is actually real or not, we believe it and it shapes us. So remember that you have the power to create that story in your head, or to at least change the story, right, that you've been telling yourself. And if you tell yourself positive stories, positive things about yourself, you will slowly start to believe them and they will become your natural state. I promise you, this is a truth. Okay. All right. Number 3 point is to actually build a mental gym for yourself. What does that mean? Okay, well, just like a physical gym where we go to work out, the consistency is the key, right? You need to create a daily routine for yourself. And this goes for the mindset. You need to create a routine, right, for your mindfulness, for your gratitude statements. So I invite you to find a space or a place that allows you to focus on your mindset exercises. And whether that's reading inspiring books or listening to positive podcasts or repeating those affirmations that we talked about, engaging in any activities that feed your mind with the thoughts that you want, Having a place to properly focus on this will help you be more consistent. Personally, I love getting outside into nature. Right? That's where I feel at peace, and it just puts me in a very positive state naturally. Helps me then easily focus on the things that I'm grateful for. I feel inspired when I listen to podcasts. If I'm out in nature, it touches me differently. I'll shout out my positive affirmation statements, right? Because I'm out in nature and I feel alive, and that brings me energy. And all that building a strong mental foundation, right? It takes time and effort, but the rewards are absolutely immeasurable. And that's what we're going for, the rewards from this, right? You got to remember why you're doing this in the first place. When you, right, if you're a salon owner, business owner, salon professional, whatever the case may be, when you prioritize your mental fitness, it ripples through your entire business and life. You see, energy is contagious. And when your team or people around you feel your positive energy, then they become more motivated. They become more collaborative. Your clients pick up on your confidence and your expertise. And a happy, resilient you ends up fostering a happy and resilient business. But of course, the same positive benefits will also be felt in your personal life, right? With friends and family. It radiates around you. However, we have to be conscious that negative energy is just as contagious. So if you aren't taking control of your thoughts and putting your mindset in the right framework, you will see the direct correlation of that negativity in your surroundings. So let's make this year not just about physical transformations, right, but about mental revolutions. And please don't give up. This is way too important. Right? It's impossible to shortcut the human development process. There are natural systems that must be followed. Think about our physical fitness example we talked about at the physical gym. Right? You can't just get in shape overnight. There's no quick fix. Right? You can't just do a few sessions and then stop. You have to focus on the fundamentals. Right? You build a routine and you stay consistent. That's the formula. Think about farming. It's the same thing. You can't just plant some seeds and get the benefits right away. You have to focus on the roots, right? You have to nurture them. Consistent, it needs watering, it needs sun, it needs the right conditions, and eventually you will benefit from the fruits. So the same is true for developing your mindset. You must invest time and energy to nurture it in order to harvest the best results over time. But don't give up. It does work. Stay the course, focus on the process. Remember, the most transformative gym that you can join is the one within your own mind. I invite you to make the mental gym a priority in 2024. Watch your life, your business, and your happiness completely soar. All right, folks, I hope that you enjoyed this episode today. Please send me some feedback. Let me know what you thought of it. If you want more content around mindset hacks, personal development, communication, relationships, send me your questions and topics. I'll be sure to include them in future episodes. In the meantime, remember that you are amazing. You are a source of positive energy and joy for people around you. Now is your time to go and make them feel it.